First contact. The vastness of space stretched out before the Earth exploration vessel Horizon, its sleek hull gleaming under the light of distant stars. Captain Elena Reyes stood on the bridge, her dark eyes scanning the numerous holographic displays surrounding her. The ship hummed with a quiet energy, a testament to human engineering and the culmination of decades of technological advancement. "Captain," called out Lieutenant Akira Tanaka from his station, his voice cutting through the low background noise of the bridge. "We're picking up an unusual signal. It doesn't match any known patterns in our database." Elena's eyebrow arched as she moved to Akira's console. "Show me," she commanded, her curiosity piqued. The lieutenant's fingers danced across the holographic interface, bringing up a visual representation of the signal. "It's definitely artificial," Akira explained, pointing to the regular patterns in the waveform. "But the encoding is like nothing we've ever seen before. It's alien." The word hung in the air, heavy with implication. Humanity had been searching for signs of extraterrestrial intelligence for centuries, and now, deep in uncharted space, they might have finally found it. "Dr. Chen," Elena called out to the ship's sinolinguist, "I want you to analyze this signal. See if you can make any sense of it." Dr. Lily Chen nodded, her eyes already gleaming with excitement as she dove into the data. The bridge buzzed with a new energy as the crew realized the potential magnitude of their discovery. Hours passed as the team worked tirelessly to decipher the alien message. Elena paced the bridge, her mind racing with possibilities and potential consequences. First contact with an alien civilization could change everything for humanity. It could open up new avenues for scientific and cultural exchange, or it could expose Earth to unknown dangers. "Captain," Dr. Chen's voice rang out, filled with a mixture of excitement and urgency. "I've cracked it. It's a distress call." Elena rushed to the xenolinguist's station, her heart pounding. "What does it say?" Dr. Chen's fingers flew across her console, translating the alien message into English. "To any who hear this, we are the Zarquin. Our world faces grave peril. We require immediate assistance. Please, if you are capable, come to these coordinates." A heavy silence fell over the bridge as the implications sank in. They weren't just faced with first contact. They were being called upon to render aid to an unknown alien species. "Coordinates?" Elena asked, her voice steady despite the tumult of emotions within her. Lieutenant Tanaka spoke up, already plotted. "Captain, they're not far, maybe a day's journey at maximum warp." Elena took a deep breath, weighing her options. Protocol dictated that they should report back to Earth and wait for instructions. But every instinct told her that delay could mean the difference between life and death for the Zarquin. "Plot a course, Lieutenant," she decided, her voice firm. "We're going to answer that call." As the Horizon changed course, Elena addressed her crew. "I know this is unexpected and potentially dangerous, but out here, we're not just explorers. We represent the best of humanity. And right now, someone needs our help. Let's show the universe what humans are capable of." The journey to the Zarquin coordinates was tense, filled with preparations and speculations. Dr. Chen worked on refining their translation algorithms, while the engineering team, led by the brilliant but eccentric Dr. Emir Sadiq, prepared for any potential technological challenges they might face. As they approached their destination, a star system unlike any they had ever seen came into view. The central star was a sickly red, its light dim and fluctuating. Orbiting it was a planet that seemed to shimmer with an ethereal beauty, its surface covered in what appeared to be crystalline structures. "Life signs?" Elena asked, her eyes fixed on the alien world. "Confirmed," replied Lieutenant Maria Santos from the science station. "But they're unlike anything in our database. Extremely complex on a cellular level, but also incredibly fragile." Before Elena could respond, a new signal came through. Dr. Chen's eyes widened as she translated. "They're hailing us, Captain. They want to establish visual communication." Elena straightened her uniform, acutely aware that she was about to become the first human to speak with an alien intelligence. "Put them through," she ordered, her voice steady. The main view screen flickered to life, and the bridge crew collectively gasped. The being that appeared was both beautiful and alien in a way that defied easy description. Its body seemed to be composed of translucent, crystalline structures that pulsed with inner light. Multiple limbs moved with fluid grace, and what appeared to be eyes. Dozens of them blinked in synchronized patterns. "Greetings, unknown vessel." The alien spoke, its words translated by Dr. Chen's algorithms. "I am Zarlax, emissary of the Zarquin. We did not expect a response so soon. Your kind is unknown to us." Elena stepped forward, her posture straight and confident. "I am Captain Elena Reyes of the Earth exploration vessel Horizon. We received your distress call and came to offer assistance." The alien's body pulsed with a soft blue light, an expression that Elena couldn't interpret. "Earth? We have no knowledge of your world or species. Yet you came, despite the risk, to aid those unknown to you. This is unexpected." "It's who we are," Elena replied simply. "We couldn't ignore a call for help, even from across the stars. Please, tell us how we can assist you." Zarlax's form shimmered, and Elena sensed a mix of hope and desperation in its next words. "Our star is dying, faster than we anticipated. Our technology, advanced as it is, cannot stop the process. We fear the end of our civilization." The gravity of the situation settled over the Horizon's bridge. They had come expecting to offer aid for a localized problem, not to face the potential extinction of an entire species. "We may not have the immediate solution," Elena said, her mind already racing with possibilities, "but we have experience in facing seemingly insurmountable challenges. If you'll allow us, we'd like to come to your world to see the problem firsthand. Perhaps together, we can find a way." Zarlax's body pulsed with a rainbow of colors. "You offer hope where we had none. We welcome you, humans of Earth. May your arrival mark the beginning of our salvation." As the communication ended, Elena turned to her crew. Their faces showed a mix of excitement, fear, and determination. "I know this is more than we bargained for," she said, her voice filled with resolve. "But this is why we ventured into the unknown. To explore, to learn, and yes, to help. We carry with us the ingenuity, the determination, and the heart of humanity. Whatever challenges we face on that world, we'll face them together." The crew nodded, their spirits bolstered by their captain's words. As the Horizon began its approach to the alien world, Elena couldn't help but feel that they stood on the precipice of a new era for humanity. Whatever lay ahead, they would meet it with courage, compassion, and the unshakable human spirit that had brought them to the stars. Little did they know, their arrival would set in motion events that would not only change the fate of the Zarquin, but redefine humanity's place in the cosmos. The adventure was just beginning, and the echoes of their actions would resonate across the galaxy for generations to come. Cultural exchange. The Horizon glided into orbit around the Zarquin homeworld, its crew marveling at the alien beauty below. The planet's surface was a tapestry of crystalline structures that caught and refracted the dying star's light, creating a shimmering, ever-changing landscape. Captain Elena Reyes led a small away team to the planet's surface, including Dr. Lily Chen, Dr. Emir Sadiq, and Lieutenant Maria Santos. As they stepped out of the shuttle, the alien atmosphere enveloped them, breathable, but with an odd metallic tang that their suits' filters couldn't quite eliminate. Zarlax awaited them, its crystalline form pulsing with welcoming hues. "Humans of Earth," it greeted, its translated voice tinged with a musical quality. "We welcome you to Zarquin Prime. Your presence here honors us." Elena stepped forward, her posture confident yet open. "The honor is ours, emissary Zarlax. We're here to learn and to help in any way we can." As Zarlax led them through the alien city, The humans were struck by the advanced technology seamlessly integrated into the crystalline structures. Holographic interfaces shimmered in the air, and what seemed to be organic computers pulsed with complex data streams. "Your technology is incredible," Dr. Sadik remarked, his eyes wide with wonder. "I've never seen anything like it." Zarlax's form shimmered with what they were beginning to recognize as pride. "We have devoted millennia to the pursuit of knowledge and the refinement of our technologies. Yet for all our advancements, we find ourselves unable to solve our greatest crisis." The group arrived at a vast chamber, its walls displaying real-time data about the Zarquin star. The humans didn't need to understand the alien symbols to grasp the gravity of the situation. The star's erratic patterns and diminishing output were clear. "Our star entered its death throes far earlier than our models predicted," Zarlax explained, its colors dimming to somber hues. "We've tried everything within our power to stabilize it, but nothing has worked. Our civilization, our very species, faces extinction." Elena felt the weight of the Zarquin's desperation. She turned to her team, seeing determination in their eyes. "We may not have your level of technology," she said, addressing Zarlax, "but humans have a long history of finding unconventional solutions to seemingly impossible problems. If you'll share your data with us, we'd like to take a fresh look at the situation." Zarlax's form pulsed with a mix of hope and skepticism. "We welcome your perspective, though I must admit, some among our council view your species as primitive. They question what you could offer that our greatest minds have not already considered." Dr. Chen stepped forward, her eyes alight with curiosity. "Sometimes, a fresh perspective is exactly what's needed. We may see patterns or possibilities that you've overlooked, simply because we think differently." Over the next several days, the human team immersed themselves in Zarquin culture and science. Dr. Chen worked tirelessly to improve their translation algorithms, delving deep into the intricacies of the Zarquin language and thought processes. Dr. Sadik collaborated with Zarquin engineers, his unorthodox approach to problem-solving both baffling and intriguing his alien counterparts. Belina, meanwhile, found herself in deep discussions with the Zarquin Leadership Council. She learned of their long history, their achievements, and their fears for the future. The more she understood, the more determined she became to find a solution. As the humans worked, tensions began to rise among some factions of the Zarquin. Whispers spread that the humans were too primitive to be of any real help, that their presence was a waste of precious time. Elena could feel the growing unease, but she pressed on, confident in her team's abilities. On the 5th day, during a joint session with the Zarquin scientists, Dr. Sadik had a breakthrough. "Wait a minute," he exclaimed, his eyes darting between multiple holographic displays. "What if we're looking at this all wrong? Instead of trying to stabilize the star itself, what if we create a shell around it?" The Zarquin scientists buzzed with confusion and interest. Zarlax moved closer, its form pulsing with curiosity. "Explain, Dr. Sadik. How would this shell function?" Emir's hands moved animatedly as he spoke. A Dyson swarm, millions of satellites orbiting the star, capturing its energy and redistributing it in a stable manner. "We could even use it to filter out the harmful radiation that's accelerating your star's decay." The chamber erupted in a cacophony of shimmering lights and rapid communications as the Zarquin discussed the idea. Valina watched with pride as her engineer continued to explain, drawing diagrams in the air with the alien holographic technology. "It's ambitious," one of the Zarquin scientists admitted, "and not without risk. But it could work. We have the technology to create such structures, but we never considered applying it in this manner." Zarlax turned to Elena, its form glowing with a newfound respect. "Captain Rice, your Dr. Sadik has given us hope where we had none. This plan will require immense resources and cooperation, but it may be our best chance." Elena nodded, feeling the surge of pride in her crew and in humanity's ability to think outside the box. "We're ready to assist in any way we can. This is more than just about saving your world. It's about showing that different species can come together, combine their strengths, and overcome even the greatest challenges. As word of the plan spread, the mood on Zarquin Prime shifted. The humans, once viewed with skepticism, were now seen as bearers of hope. Alina found herself and her crew welcomed into Zarquin homes, sharing meals, or what passed for meals among the crystalline beings, and stories. During one such gathering, a young Zarquin approached Alina, its form shimmering with curiosity. "Captain," it asked, its translated voice filled with wonder, "your kind is so different from ours. You're fragile in ways we are not, yet resilient in ways we can scarcely comprehend. What drives you to explore the stars, to risk everything to help those you've never met?" Alina smiled, considering her words carefully. "It's part of who we are," she explained. "Humans have always been explorers, driven by curiosity and a desire to understand the unknown. And in our journey, we've learned that the greatest achievements come when we reach out to others, when we combine our strengths and face challenges together." The young Zarquin's form pulsed with understanding and admiration. "Perhaps," it mused, "this is why you succeeded where we could not. You bring not just your knowledge, but your spirit. This human spirit that refuses to give up, that finds hope in the darkest of times." As Alina looked around at the gathering of humans and Zarquin, she felt a profound sense of purpose. They were on the brink of not just saving the civilization, but of forging a bond between two very different species. The road ahead would be challenging, filled with technological hurdles and diplomatic complexities. But as she met the gaze of her crew, each of them engaged in animated discussions with their new alien friends, she knew that together they were ready to face whatever the universe had in store. The cultural exchange had opened new doors, not just for the Zarquin, but for humanity as well. As they prepared for the monumental task ahead, Alina couldn't help but feel that this was just the beginning of an epic journey that would reshape the future of both their species. The galactic stage. The news of humanity's innovative solution to the Zarquin's dying star spread quickly across the galaxy. As preparations for the Dyson Swarm project began, the Horizon received an unexpected transmission. It was an invitation, or perhaps a summons, to the Galactic Conclave, the governing body of the known spacefaring civilizations. Captain Alina Reyes stood on the bridge of the Horizon. Her crew gathered around her as she addressed them. "This is more than we bargained for," she said, her voice steady despite the gravity of the situation. "We're no longer just explorers or even saviors to the Zarquin. We're about to become representatives of Earth on the galactic stage." Dr. Lily Chen, her eyes alight with excitement, spoke up. "This is an unprecedented opportunity, Captain. We'll be the first humans to interact with multiple alien species, to learn about galactic politics and cultures. It's also dangerous," Lieutenant Ekura Tanaka cautioned. "We don't know the agendas of these other species. Our actions with the Zarquin might have upset some balance we're not aware of." Alina nodded, acknowledging both perspectives. "You're both right. This is an opportunity and a challenge. We'll need to be diplomatic, cautious, and above all, true to who we are as humans. Prepare for departure. The galaxy awaits." The journey to the Conclave took several days, even with the Horizon's advanced warp drive. As they traveled, the crew prepared intensively, studying what little information the Zarquin could provide about galactic politics and the various species they might encounter. Finally, they arrived at the Conclave Station, a massive ring-shaped structure floating in space, its architecture a blend of various alien styles. As the Horizon docked, Alina felt the weight of responsibility settle on her shoulders. She was no longer just the captain of an exploration vessel. She was the voice of humanity in a vast, unknown political landscape. The human delegation, led by Alina, and including Dr. Chen, Dr. Sadiq, and Lieutenant Santos, was escorted to the Grand Assembly Chamber. The room was filled with beings of all shapes, sizes, and compositions, some humanoid, others defying easy description. The air buzzed with a cacophony of translated conversations. A tall, willowy being with iridescent skin approached them. "Welcome, humans of Earth," it said, its voice melodious even through the translation. "I am Thoril, the conclave facilitator. Your presence here has caused quite a stir." Elena stepped forward, her posture confident yet respectful. "Thank you for the welcome, Facilitator Thoril. We come in peace and with hopes of fostering understanding and cooperation." As Thoril led them to their designated area, Elena could feel the eyes of countless alien species upon them. Some gazes seemed curious, others wary, and a few outright hostile. The session began with a series of introductions and statements from various galactic representatives. It quickly became clear that the human intervention in the Zarquin crisis had upset a delicate balance of power. A reptilian being, scales shimmering with bioluminescent patterns, addressed the assembly. "The humans' actions, while seemingly noble, have disrupted years of careful negotiation. The Zarquin's technology was to be shared among our worlds in exchange for aid. Now, this new species swoops in, solving a crisis we deliberately left unsolved." Murmurs of agreement rippled through the chamber. Elena felt her heart race, realizing the complex web of politics they had unwittingly entangled themselves in. Another alien, this one a floating gas-like entity, spoke up. "Perhaps we should see this as an opportunity. The humans have demonstrated remarkable problem-solving abilities. Their fresh perspective could be valuable to the conclave." The debate raged on, with various factions arguing for and against human involvement in galactic affairs. Elena listened intently, gathering as much information as she could about the complex relationships and histories at play. Finally, she was given the floor. Taking a deep breath, Elena addressed the assembly. "Esteemed members of the Galactic Conclave, we came to this part of the galaxy as explorers, seeking knowledge and understanding. When we heard the Zarquin's distress call, we answered not out of a desire for power or technology, but because it is fundamental to who we are as a species to help those in need." She paused, looking around the chamber, meeting the gazes of various alien representatives. "We understand that our actions have disrupted existing plans and negotiations. That was not our intent. We are new to this galactic community, unaware of its complexities. But perhaps that outsider perspective is exactly what's needed." Elena's voice grew stronger as she continued. "Humanity has a long history of overcoming seemingly insurmountable challenges through cooperation, innovation, and sheer determination. We offer this spirit, this drive, to the galactic community. We don't seek to disrupt, but to contribute, to learn from you, and perhaps to offer new ideas in return." The chamber fell silent as her words sank in. Then, gradually, a low hum of discussion began. Elena could see various representatives conferring with each other, their expressions and gestures inscrutable to her human understanding. Thoril stepped forward once more. "The conclave will recess to discuss the human proposal. Please, wait in the antechamber. We will summon you when a decision has been reached." As they waited, Elena and her team huddled together, discussing the various reactions they'd observed and strategizing for possible outcomes. "We need to be prepared for anything," Elena said. "If they accept us, we'll be thrust into galactic politics beyond anything we've trained for. If they reject us, well, we might find ourselves in a very precarious position far from home." Dr. Sadik nodded, his eyes gleaming with excitement despite the tension. "Whatever happens, Captain, we've already achieved something remarkable. We've put humanity on the galactic map." Hours passed before they were finally summoned back to the chamber. The atmosphere had changed. There was a sense of anticipation, of a decision reached. Thoril addressed them, its voice carrying across the now silent chamber. "After much deliberation, the conclave has reached a decision. The humans will be granted provisional status within our galactic community." A ripple of reactions swept through the assembled aliens as Thoril continued. "You will be allowed to proceed with your Dyson Swarm project for the Zarquin, under the supervision of a conclave observation team. Furthermore, we invite you to establish an embassy here on the Conclave Station. We are curious to see what other contributions humanity might offer to our shared future." Elena felt a mixture of relief and trepidation. They had achieved far more than they had ever expected when they first set out from Earth, but she knew that the real challenges were only beginning. As the session concluded and various representatives approached to introduce themselves, Elena turned to her team. "Well," she said with a small smile, "it looks like we have our work cut out for us. Not only do we have a star to save, but we got a galaxy of new allies and potential adversaries to navigate." Dr. Chen's eyes were wide with excitement. "Think of all we'll learn, Captain. The scientific and cultural exchange alone is beyond anything we could have dreamed." Lieutenant Santos nodded, her expression a mix of caution and determination. "We'll need to be careful. One wrong move could have consequences not just for us, but for all of humanity." "You're both right," Elena agreed. "We're standing on the threshold of a new era for our species. Whatever comes next, we'll face it together, with all the ingenuity, compassion, and determination that humanity has to offer." As they prepared to return to the horizon and begin the next phase of their unexpected journey, Elena couldn't help but feel a sense of pride and purpose. They had come seeking new frontiers, and now they stood at the dawn of humanity's greatest adventure yet. The galaxy was vast and full of wonders and dangers, but she knew that the human spirit was more than ready for the challenge. The Dyson Swarm project awaited, and beyond that, a universe of possibilities. Humanity had taken its first steps onto the galactic stage, and Elena Reyes and her crew were leading the way into a future filled with promise and peril in equal measure. Trial by fire. The Zarquin system bustled with activity as the massive Dyson Swarm project got underway. Ships from various galactic civilizations swarmed around the dying star, each contributing their unique technologies and expertise to the monumental task. At the heart of it all was the Earth vessel Horizon, its crew working tirelessly to coordinate the efforts and implement Dr. Sadiq's groundbreaking design. Captain Elena Reyes stood on the bridge, surveying the holographic display of the construction process. Millions of satellites were being deployed, forming a vast web around the unstable star. Each one was a marvel of engineering, a blend of human ingenuity and alien technology. "Status report," Elena called out, her voice steady despite the tension that had been building over the past weeks. Lieutenant Akira Tanaka responded from his station. "Construction is at 67% completion, Captain. We're ahead of schedule, but—" He hesitated, his brow furrowing. "But what, Lieutenant?" Elena pressed. "The star's deterioration is accelerating faster than our models predicted. We're in a race against time, and the finish line keeps moving." Dr. Emir Sadiq, who had been working almost non-stop since the project began, looked up from his console. "We need to speed up deployment. If we can get to 85% coverage, we should be able to start the stabilization process." Elena nodded, her mind racing through the possibilities and potential risks. "All right, let's push it. Contact the other ships. We're going to accelerate our timetable." As the orders went out, the already frenetic pace of construction intensified. Ships darted back and forth, deploying satellites at breakneck speed. The Horizon's engines glowed hot as it maneuvered through the chaotic dance, coordinating the efforts of a dozen different species. Hours blended into days as the crew worked around the clock. Elena caught snippets of sleep when she could, but mostly survived on stimulants and sheer determination. She knew her crew was pushing themselves to the limit, but the alternative, the destruction of an entire civilization, was unthinkable. Just as they approached the critical 85% threshold, alarms blared across the Horizon's bridge. "Captain," Lieutenant Maria Santos called out from the science station, her voice tight with urgency. "We're detecting massive solar flares forming on the star's surface. If they erupt, they'll destroy a significant portion of the swarm." Elena's mind raced. The flares weren't just a threat to the project. They could potentially wipe out the entire fleet working on the construction. "How long do we have?" Minutes, maybe less, Santos replied, her fingers flying over her console as she analyzed the data. Dr. Sadik spoke up, his eyes wild with a mix of fear and inspiration. We might be able to use the completed portions of the swarm to deflect the worst of the flares, but we'd need precise control, more than our current systems allow. Elena made a split-second decision. What if we linked the Horizon's computers directly to the swarm control systems? Could that give us the processing power and speed we need? Sadik's eyes widened. It's possible, but risky. We'd be exposing our ship systems to an unprecedented level of alien technology. The feedback alone could fry our circuits. Do it, Elena commanded. It's our only shot. What followed was a frantic scramble as the Horizon's crew worked to integrate their systems with the alien tech controlling the Dyson swarm. Dr. Chen's linguistic expertise proved invaluable as she helped translate and adapt alien code on the fly. As the solar flares began to erupt, Elena felt the ship shudder. The Horizon's systems were being pushed to their absolute limits, processing data at speeds never before achieved by human technology. Swarm responding, Tanaka called out. Satellites are reorienting. On the main view screen, Elena watched in awe as millions of satellites moved in perfect synchronization, forming a shield against the oncoming solar storm. The flares struck the barrier, their energy dispersed and redirected. For a moment, it seemed like they had succeeded. Then, without warning, one of the flares broke through a weak point in the formation. Brace for impact. Elena shouted as the wave of solar energy washed over the fleet. The Horizon rocked violently, systems overloading and shutting down. Emergency lights flickered on as main power failed. Through the chaos, Elena could hear reports of damage from all over the ship. As the initial shock subsided, Elena took stock of the situation. Status report. What's our condition? Tanaka, his console sparking, responded grimly. Main power is down. Life support on emergency backup. Communications array is fried. We're dead in the water, Captain. Elena's mind raced. They were crippled, but the Zarquin and the rest of the fleet were still in danger. What about the swarm? Did we manage to protect it? Dr. Sadik, looking haggard but determined, checked his readings. We lost about 20% of the satellites, but the core structure is intact. If we can get it back online quickly, we might still have a chance. Elena nodded, her resolve hardening. All right, people, this is what we trained for. We're not out of this fight yet. Dr. Sadik, focus on getting the swarm operational. Dr. Chen, see if you can establish communications with the other ships using any means necessary. Lieutenant Santos, work on restoring our main systems. The rest of you, damage control. Move. The next hours were a blur of activity. The crew of the Horizon worked with a fervor born of desperation and determination. Elena moved from station to station, offering encouragement, making tough decisions, and occasionally lending a hand with repairs. Slowly, systems began to come back online. Dr. Chen managed to rig up a makeshift communications array using parts from their shuttle and some salvaged alien tech. They re-established contact with the fleet, coordinating efforts to bring the Dyson swarm back to full operation. As main power was restored, Elena returned to the bridge, her uniform stained and torn, but her spirit unbroken. What's our status? Tanaka, his console now functioning, reported. Swarm is at 92% operational capacity, Captain. The star's output is beginning to stabilize. A cheer went up from the crew, but Elena knew they weren't out of the woods yet. Keep at it. We need to get to full coverage to ensure long-term stability. Over the next several hours, they worked tirelessly to complete the swarm. Ships from other species, seeing the humans' determination, redoubled their own efforts. Finally, as the last satellite clicked into place, Dr. Sadik announced with a mixture of exhaustion and triumph, "We've done it, Captain. The Dyson swarm is complete and fully operational. The Zarquin star is stabilizing. Elena allowed herself a small smile as she surveyed her battered but unbowed crew. Well done, all of you. We've just saved an entire civilization. As the realization of their achievement sank in, the communications array crackled to life. It was a transmission from the Galactic Conclave. Pectoral's melodious voice filled the bridge. Captain Rice, we've been monitoring the situation. What you and your crew have accomplished is unprecedented. You've not only saved the Zarquin, but have demonstrated a level of technological adaptation and sheer determination that has impressed even our most skeptical members. On behalf of the Conclave, I extend our deepest gratitude and admiration. Elena, feeling the weight of the past days lifting, responded with genuine warmth. Thank you, Facilitator. We couldn't have done it without the cooperation of all the species involved. This was a galactic effort. As the transmission ended, Elena turned to her crew. Their faces showed exhaustion, but also pride and a deep sense of accomplishment. Take some time to rest, she said, her voice filled with emotion. You've all earned it. When we're patched up, we'll head back to the Conclave. I have a feeling our adventure in this part of the galaxy is just beginning. As the crew dispersed, Elena remained on the bridge, gazing out at the now stable Zarquin star surrounded by the shimmering Dyson swarm. They had faced their trial by fire and emerged victorious. Humanity had proven its worth on the galactic stage, not through military might or advanced technology, but through ingenuity, adaptability, and an unbreakable spirit. Whatever challenges lay ahead, Elena knew that they were ready to face them. The echoes of their actions here would resonate across the stars, heralding a new era of human involvement in galactic affairs. As she finally allowed herself to feel the full weight of their accomplishment, Elena smiled. The future was bright, and humanity was ready to shine. A new era. The Horizon glided gracefully into dock at the Galactic Conclave Station, its hull bearing the scars of its recent ordeal. As Captain Elena Reyes led her crew through the airlock, they were met with a sight that none of them had expected. A vast gathering of aliens from countless species, all assembled to greet them. Thoril, the Conclave Facilitator, stepped forward, its iridescent skin shimmering with what Elena had come to recognize as excitement. Captain Rice, crew of the Horizon, welcome back. Your return has been eagerly anticipated. Elena, still weary from their mission, but standing tall, nodded respectfully. Thank you, Facilitator. We're honored by this reception. As they made their way through the crowd, Elena could hear murmurs of admiration and curiosity from the assembled aliens. Words like brave, innovative, and resilient floated through the air in a dozen different languages. They were led to the Grand Assembly Chamber, which was even more packed than during their first visit. This time, however, the atmosphere was drastically different. Where once there had been skepticism and wariness, now there was a palpable sense of respect and excitement. Thoril took the central podium, its voice ringing out across the chamber. Esteemed members of the Galactic Conclave, we are gathered here today to recognize an unprecedented achievement. The humans, newcomers to our galactic community, have not only saved an entire civilization, but have done so in a manner that has impressed even our most advanced species. The facilitator went on to detail Horizon crew's efforts, from their innovative solution to their bravery in the face of near-certain destruction. As Elena listened, she felt a surge of pride in her crew and in humanity as a whole. In light of these events, Thoril continued, the Conclave leadership has made a decision. We hereby extend an invitation to Earth to become a full member of the Galactic Conclave, with all the rights and responsibilities that entails. A chorus of approving sounds echoed through the chamber. Elena felt her heart race. This was more than they could have ever hoped for when they first set out from Earth. She stepped forward to address the assembly. On behalf of humanity, I thank you for this great honor. We came to the stars seeking knowledge and understanding, hoping to forge connections with other intelligent life. What we found was a vast community, rich with diversity and wisdom. Elena paused, looking around the chamber, We accept your invitation with gratitude and humility. Humanity has much to learn, but we also have much to offer. Our history is filled with challenges overcome, with innovation born from necessity. We bring with us a spirit of exploration, a drive to push boundaries, and a deep-seated belief in the power of cooperation. Her words were met with enthusiastic approval from the assembled aliens. As the formal proceedings concluded, Alina found herself surrounded by representatives from various species, all eager to speak with her and her crew. A tall, avian being approached, its feathers a striking array of metallic hues. "Captain Reyes," it said, its translated voice filled with curiosity. "I am Kizoth of the Aetherian Collective. We were most impressed by your ability to integrate our technology with your own. Would your people be interested in a technological exchange program?" Before Alina could respond, a diminutive, multi-limbed creature scuttled up. "And we of the Xenerx Hive would be honored to learn more about human social structures. Your teamwork under pressure was most intriguing." Similar offers and requests came pouring in from all directions. Dr. Lili Chen was soon deep in conversation with a group of alien linguists, while Dr. Emir Sadik found himself surrounded by beings eager to discuss the finer points of the Dyson swarm design. As the day wore on, Alina managed to find a quiet moment with her core team. "Well," she said, a smile playing on her lips, "it seems we've opened quite a few doors for humanity." Lieutenant Akira Tanaka nodded, his usually serious expression softened by a sense of wonder. "It's incredible, Captain. The scientific and cultural exchange opportunities alone are beyond anything we could have imagined. And the responsibility," added Lieutenant Maria Santos, ever pragmatic. "We'll need to be careful. Our actions here will shape humanity's place in the galaxy for generations to come." Alina agreed, feeling the weight of their new role. "You're right. We're not just explorers anymore. We're diplomats, scientists, and representatives of our entire species. It's a big job, but I can't think of a better crew to help shoulder that responsibility." As they discussed the implications of their new status, a familiar crystalline form approached. It was Zarlax, the Zarquin emissary they had first encountered what felt like a lifetime ago. "Captain Reyes," Zarlax said, its body pulsing with warm colors, "I bring gratitude from all Zarquin. Your actions have saved not just our lives, but our entire culture and history. We owe you a debt that can never be fully repaid." Alina shook her head, smiling warmly. "There's no debt, Zarlax. We did what anyone would do when they see someone in need. That's the human way." Zarlax's form shimmered with what Alina now recognized as deep emotion. "Perhaps, but it is a way that has earned you great respect among the stars. The Zarquin would be honored to be among the first to establish formal diplomatic relations with Earth. We have much to learn from each other." As Alina accepted the offer, she couldn't help but reflect on how far they had come. What had started as a routine exploration mission had turned into humanity's grand debut on the galactic stage. They had faced challenges, overcome seemingly impossible odds, and in doing so, had shown the best of what humanity had to offer. Later that evening, as the formal celebrations wound down, Alina found herself standing before a vast window, gazing out at the star-studded expanse of space. Dr. Chen joined her, a look of contentment on her face. "Quite a view, isn't it, Captain?" Lili said softly. Alina nodded. "It certainly is. And to think, each of those points of light could be another adventure, another civilization to meet, another mystery to solve. It's a big galaxy out there," Lili mused. "Do you think we're ready for it?" Alina turned to look at her crew, scattered around the room, each engaged in animated conversations with beings from across the cosmos. She saw in them the very best of humanity: curiosity, compassion, determination, and an unquenchable thirst for knowledge. "You know what, Lili? I think we are," Alina said, her voice filled with confidence. "We've got a lot to learn, but we've also got a lot to offer. This is just the beginning of humanity's journey among the stars." As they stood there, Contemplating the vast future that lay before them, Alina felt a sense of excitement and purpose unlike anything she'd ever experienced. The galaxy was vast and full of wonders, and humanity was now a part of it all. Whatever challenges lay ahead, whatever new frontiers they would face, Alina knew that the human spirit, adaptable, resilient, and ever curious, would rise to meet them. The adventure was just beginning, and the echoes of their actions here would resonate across the cosmos for generations to come. Humanity had taken its first steps into a larger universe, and Captain Alina Reyes and her crew were leading the way into a future bright with promise and possibility. As the galactic conclave station rotated slowly against the backdrop of infinite stars, Alina smiled. The next chapter in human history was about to be written, and it would be penned across the vast canvas of the galaxy itself.